What's one thing that made you say, never fucking again? And why? Attempting to catch my dog's shit in the bag rather than picking it up from the ground seemed like a good idea. Dog sharted up my arm. Monsieur had a long walk back home through my neighborhood covered in shit. Never again. Purchased a bag of 150 mint Mentos as a study snack. Got stuck into an assignment and somehow ate the entire bag over a 12-hour period. Next day my partner and I walked our dogs down to a cafe. Stomach becomes sore while we drink our coffee. I looked to the toilet but it's a busy cafe with a single toilet. Figure I'll just wait to do my business back home. About a half-hour walk away. As we start walking back I begin to sweat. Cramps become unbearable. Give my partner the dog lead and tell her I need to run. She doesn't know what's going on. I start sprinting, which then makes the stomach cramps so much worse. Realize I'm not going to make it. Almost crying from the stomach cramps. See a bush. Can't hold it. Pull pants down. Don't quite succeed. Shit everywhere. Bush isn't concealed. Other dog walkers walk past and dog runs up. Mortified. Still can't stop shitting. Partner sees me. My pug happy to see me. Run straight up and into my Mentos. Diarrhea. Haven't eaten Mentos ever again. It's a fun story now but God did that day suck. Partner loves to bring it up at dinner parties. Yesterday I was in a hurry and not being very safe and put a 1/4 drill bit through my hand. Could have been 100% avoided by taking even the slightest of safety precautions, but I was frustrated and rushing to finish. Never again will I not take the simple moment to do it correctly. Getting an endometrial biopsy. Worst pain of my life. If I ever to get cancer they can just take the whole damn uterus out. I'm not going through that again without anesthesia. My ex. We were giving long distance a shot. It was an on and off relationship for like 3 years. I traveled 18 hours to see him only to find out he had been cheating on me and no one from his circle even knew I existed. I cried for a straight 18 hours bus ride back home. Never fucking again. I had my gallbladder removed after a gallstone. I thought I was having a heart attack and called an ambulance. While I waited I started to arrange all of my finances for my wife. The hospital ran a zillion tests. Told me it was a gallstone. And the only real solution was to remove the whole gallbladder if it came back. Asterisk if it came back? Asterisk. Yup. Fuck that shit. I told the doctor I would never go through that pain again and he could schedule me for surgery. Then and there. I've had women tell me the pain from a gallstone lodged in the duct is worse than childbirth and I believe the monsieur. No way was I going through that again. Making friends with people because you feel bad for the monsieur. Be nice but no more than that is required. Pity is no reason to start a friendship and it never turns out well. Neither for them nor for you. Driving through an intersection immediately upon my light changing to green. Some asshole ran a red one day and almost T-boned me on the driver's side. Never again. I always wait for a few seconds before I start driving through an intersection. Longer if there's a blind corner. Alcohol and cocaine. Almost ruined my life. Started drinking at 16. Started doing coke at 26. And took till I was damn near 41 to quit. Dumped my last baggie of blowout beside my garage 23 years ago and haven't touched the shit since. Amniocentesis. Having a giant needle stuck through my pregnant belly and being dug around to get a sample. Triggered my fight-flight and I was sweating so much from the intensity. I didn't watch while they did it but my mother-in-law was there and started crying while they were digging around. She held my hand, looked at me with tears in her eyes and tried to calmly say, "It's okay. You're okay." I still have nightmares about it 10 years later. Living with a couple. Roommates suck in general but 3 times in my life I split an apartment with a couple and it was awkward at best, and truly miserable when they fought. When I was like 11 I had some friends, the kids that lived next door, over and we were just hanging out, playing video games all night. My mom ordered Papa John's for us. We tore the pizza up like the ravenous savages we were and continued gaming. That night the boy stayed over while his sisters and little brother went back home. We go to bed that night and at some point one of us, can't remember who, began to throw up, which woke the other one up. My mom rushes in and helps clean up the mess. Once the vomiting stops we go back to bed. But then before long it'd start again. Just like before. Sometimes I was first. Sometimes it was hi monsieur. Sometimes we could get to the bathroom on time. Sometimes we couldn't. My mother, the saint of a woman she is, cleaned up all of that vomit. Apparently things were no better at their house. To this day, some 15 years later, I refuse to eat Papa John's. I'm sure it was just a one-time thing, but once was enough. Peppermint essential oil. Why? My darling spouse read online you could use it on lady bits to provide a tingling sensation. Decided to do so to me. Didn't read the bit about majorly diluting it first. The result? The sensation of 1,000 fire ants biting my most intimate parts while simultaneously being submerged in lava. And since it's an oil, washing it off to jack shit. I sobbed in a half-full bathtub whilst rubbing my cooch with a towel doused in vegetable oil. The remedy, according to the internet, 0 do not recommend. Never again. Edit. A number. Meth. I was a hardcore amphetamine pill addict and said fuck it one night and smoked a shitload of meth. I was up for 2 or 3 days. By the last day I was well into psychosis and left town. Stayed in a hotel room for a few days to make sure I didn't become a meth addict and to evaluate what the fuck I was doing with my life. I didn't stop the pills immediately, but I'm never fucking doing meth again. Working retail. I think it's something every young person should do once. People suck, especially with our bullshit culture of the customer is always right. Extending an olive branch to my father, to make peace with him. As a child, he didn't want to know me, but I knew even then that the time would come when I would be an adult and he would want to get to know me. I tried repeatedly as I was growing to find common ground, stability, fucking anything with hi monsieur nah. I tried adopting his interests, talking to him about things he gave a shit about. Nah. I tried involving him with things I was passionate about. Nah. Well, sure enough, as an adult now that he's retired and his health isn't what it used to be, he wants to get to know me. Get fucked cunt. There is no way in hell I am letting him into any part of my life to fuck it up some more. 20 fucking years. He had 20 fucking years to get to know me until I moved away and got him out of my life. Nah, I'm good without you, bro. Open up my home to help someone. She ended up being a manipulative, miserable cuss of a person who made my and my children's lives miserable. My husband, now ex, refused to see beyond her vagina and ignored his own kids' pleas for help. Kids and I move out and he's now miserable and alone with no relationship with his kids. Cunt left him at the first sign of his financial troubles. Trusting voicemails. Back in the mid-2000s, I got one of those scam calls saying that I owed a lot of money and needed to call them to get an account squared. I was scared and didn't want police coming after me. I was torrenting a buttload of movies and TV shows at the time and didn't want them seizing my computer. I called them up and asked them how to get this figured out, assuming that a couple grand would be worth the fines and jail time. I kept asking questions. I kept imploring for more information. I wanted to know exactly what account I was giving to, the name of my contact there, and exactly which Walmart their payment partner was distributing their money cards. I was legitimately terrified, but I think my constant question spooked them. Monsieur, they said, good luck in court. We're sending the police now, and hung up. That was the moment I started to realize this might not be a legitimate thing. I tried calling them back, got somebody to pick up, and when I read them back my case number and contact name, they said to stop wasting their time and hung up again. I did a bit of research. and by a bit, I mean literally 2 seconds on Google, and discovered that police and banks won't call you to resolve outstanding debts. And they certainly won't give you just 1 hour to fix it. I felt really dumb falling for a scam, but also felt really lucky that the scammers couldn't answer my deluge of questions. Nowadays, I independently verify every single thing. Voicemail, email, text. If you put a phone number or URL in that thing, I'm going to skip it and take the scenic route instead. I'll call my bank's branch directly using the number listed on their official website. I'll contact a company using their official customer service line. I'll sign in to my own account using my own bookmark or search result, and not use the login button in the email. Since then, I've had very good luck avoiding scams and blocking these overseas criminals. They almost got me once, but afterwards never fucking again. Skydiving. I did my first and only jump free fall with 2 instructors at the same time at 9,000 feet. I.e. no static line or tandem. In hindsight, not the best or safest idea. I had bungee jumped multiple times before, so I figured I'd handle it correctly. Well, it was an interesting day, but the part that got me was after the instructors caught up to me and stabilized me. I was reaching for the cord but couldn't seem to find it. That's when I realized that I could very possibly die if I didn't find it. Luckily, either I pulled it or the instructors did. I'm pretty sure they did. But the part that really fucked with me was when the chute started to open, and as the instructors weren't there anymore, that I realized that if the parachute malfunctioned, I'd be dead. I knew that it had a 99.9999999% chance of working correctly, but if something did happen, I wouldn't be able to stabilize myself and probably not be able to break away the main chute and pull the reserve soon enough. I didn't have time to think about any of that at the time, as I was focused on what I needed to do in case. But it pretty much took away any future plans I ever had on continuing that hobby. It's an odd feeling knowing that you literally have 5 seconds to make a decision without the experience to help yourself. Go on an overseas tour with a close friend. Always do a mini trip or spend a weekend with them exploring a new place to test the waters. I went on an overseas trip with someone who was constantly late, couldn't pay for anything, didn't want to do any of the activities we had planned, sulked around. The list goes on. We had completely different travel styles. She wanted to sleep in, I wanted to organize things, be on time and plan ahead. Basically, our travel styles just did not mesh. I ended up having such a bad time I booked a flight home. Would never again go on a holiday with her again, or any friend with a similar personality. Never again.